Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. I am so excited you're here. I am Melanie Herschorn. If we have never met before, well, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. If you have watched some videos before, then yay, thanks for coming back. So I am the content marketing strategist for business owners who've written a book and they need some good content marketing. And today I am joined by the one, the only kick-ass woman of the year, Erin Lubien. And I really want to say Lubien though, because of my Canadian roots and I love French. So today, okay, I'm just gonna bring her on and we're just gonna talk and you're just gonna, and here she is. And Erin, let's talk. Well, first of all, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, Melanie, and my meme would love you.
Okay. Erin Lubien. So let's talk about being a kick-ass woman and tell us about your amazing group, Kick-Ass Women. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. So I am not the kick-ass woman. They all are. Really, what happened was about 3.5 years ago, I was connecting people. That's my hobby. I love collecting and connecting people. And they weren't doing their job and connecting with each other. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to throw out an invite and have you all in the same room. We'll see what happens. It was explosive. Every woman around the table started taking notes for each woman who was sharing where she was in the space in which she was right there. And we all walked away with who we were going to introduce each other to, what resources and tools we were going to share with each other. And it was the first networking event I had ever been at where everybody just kind of opened up everything, their internal Rolodex, and said, how can I help you get 10 steps ahead? When they said, let's do it again, I created Kick-Ass Women because that's exactly who they are.
I love that. Okay. So,
thank you.
And that's the thing. Like so often we go to networking events and it's like, wah, wah.
Yes.
And he's like, ooh, is my next client in the crowd? Let me find my next client. But what you're talking about is so key because it's about supporting and lifting as we rise.
Exactly. Exactly. Because the more that we uplift others, the more we rise ourselves, which is one of the most beautiful parts of this.
So let's talk about competition.
Competition.
Yeah, because people.
That's my favorite topic.
Oh, okay.
Because I hate it.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So why do you hate competition? Tell me.
Okay. So not everybody is for everybody. So when I think of, all right, let me first start with, I collect executive coaches and career counselors, life coaches, health and wellness, everybody who does their amazing work in helping others. And I bring them into Kick-Ass Women to teach us things like getting over self-confidence, or lack thereof,
right?
Imposter syndrome, having a positive mindset, like all of these things that are so important and valuable to keep our own selves aware and really able to rise. And when I started bringing these people in, they would ask, well, if you already have executive coaches in your group, why would you want me too? Well, because not everybody is for everybody. There is no such thing as competition. In fact, if you think about it, where have you been going to a restaurant when it was the only restaurant or thing anywhere, like out in the middle of the country? You don't do that. It's got to be pretty damn special. But like restaurants competing with each other beget more guests and more patrons, just like all of us. So the first session that we had was seven women plus me. I looked around and I'm like, wow, we could all do the same job. I was in corporate communications and marketing communications and investor relations for over 20 years. And every single woman around the table could have kicked my butt. And I'm like, well, that's actually a good thing because we all know where each other have been. It's like walking in the shoes already of people you don't know.
And okay, I want to go back to this restaurant analogy because I think that's really important. If there was one restaurant and you didn't, and it was a Mexican restaurant and you just did not like Mexican food, well,
where would I go?
Where would you
I'd have to go somewhere else.
Or
I'd leave that town to go to a restaurant that I did care for.
Exactly. Which is why you can be friends and support people who do what you do. Because like you said, your message isn't going to resonate with everybody, just like your food is not going to be everybody's favorite.
Right?
But you will find your people. And there are enough people in this world, 7 billion of them, to be exact, that you're going to find your people and you can still grow a humongous following.
Yes. And we can all have the same skill sets and the same talents, but we're not the same. I love what Leslie just said. Thank you.
Yeah.
And yes, you're right. We are energetically connected to those who will best support us. And it's awesome when those who we support us back. It's such a lovely world in which we live.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I love what Leslie said. Leslie, thank you so much for saying this. No competition except with ourselves.
Yes.
I mean, it's like,
hi,
as my 9-year-old goes, she'll go,
yes,
mind blown. And it's true. And I always used to say that, I'm not a competitive person, except with myself.
Yes.
I was never into sports and I didn't care. That's why I like track and field, because you're only competing against your best time.
Right. And that's exactly it. And so let me give you my philosophy, if you don't mind.
Please.
So the business playbook was written way back in caveman days when Thor traded a bison for a dinosaur. It's never been opened up and dusted off since. In the 70s, when corporate opened to women for more than just being secretaries, women got into the workplace and were assimilating as men. That doesn't work in our books.
Right.
Yeah. And we don't compete naturally.
Right. And that masculine energy, the bad masculine energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And women, we see it's, I think it's part of the brain. It's part of where we come from, that fight or flight. My experience with women in the workplace was always fight or flight for them. And I always thought, well, why aren't we partnering together? And I was naive.
Let's talk about that. Like, you couldn't change corporate culture.
God, no.
So you left.
Yeah. I was lucky enough, very fortunate to have been in a few companies that had excellent corporate culture. Mm-hmm. The other thing is I was the non-executive at the executive table for over 20 years. Mm-hmm. So I sat with geniuses in their own rights, not just the CEO and CFO, but also the people around them. The IT people, the marketing people. I got to see the way that information is shared and that decisions are made. And I got to see the good way, and I was able to see the really shitty way.
Yeah.
And so the bad way is really when you surround yourself with people who are only telling you what you want to hear. The bad way is not listening to information, taking it in and using it to make the next decision or the next step. I think that's really important. And through Kick-Ass Women, sharing these nuanced kind of internal overcoming of your own personal competition inside unleashes exchanges of ideas and exchanges of information. And that helps all of us just be that much better. And if you're not growing, you're dying, right?
Yes. And, I was just talking to a dear friend of mine who's really an expert in talking about imposter syndrome. Her name is Jen Koken, and I don't know if you know her, but I'm totally going to introduce you to her after.
I love that. Thank you. I don't.
And, imposter syndrome can really just hit you. This week I got hit bad.
No,
it was
Melanie.
There was you know what, we're all susceptible to it.
I
right?
know.
And so Jen jokingly said, oh, it's like you got hit with a wet sock in the face.
Yes.
I said, yeah, but that sock had a brick in it.
Yes.
Boom.
Yes.
And so she started working through the feelings with me. I mean, thankfully I'm already out the other side of it, but It's
Well, what
really,
did you do to get out of it?
well, I had to leave my
Riley,
bed. I got up.
hang on. I'm sorry. Did I tell you that we got a puppy over the weekend?
No, but I can hear it licking. And I'm sure everybody else can.
Sorry, guys. He has to go. Yeah. He's decided that his place in the house is right next to my desk.
Well, he wants to be with Mama. Can you
Yeah.
blame him? Can we see
But
him?
But do you know what I mean by his place in the house?
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 1 and number 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Awesome.
Sorry.
No.
Welcome to real life, people. That's what.
Yeah, this is it, guys. There's no going back now.
So how did you get through your imposter syndrome?
I got up from my computer.
Yes.
And I walked away.
And what was it you were feeling?
I was feeling like, who am I to be doing what I'm doing? And
Did you feel like a fraud?
Not a fraud, because I know that what I do is good. I
Yes.
know that I help people.
Yes.
And I have examples of this daily.
Yes.
But I was like, well, can I do it? Can I do it?
And of course you can.
And I can. Absolutely, I can. But, it's like it just came out of left field.
So you got up from your computer and you walked away. What did you do next?
I went, made another cup of coffee. And I basically did not a lot of work the rest of the day.
Wow. Did you work on positive mindset? Did you?
No, I took a nap.
Oh my God, I love you.
I took a nap because when Melanie is at capacity, actually, when I expand past capacity,
yes,
my body entirely shuts down and I have to take a nap.
Yes. Gotcha.
It's wild. Like my body literally says, and scene. Oh
my gosh, that's amazing.
And we're out. Oh, and Leslie just said something. So as a leader within a male dominated, it was exhausting trying to fit in. It wasn't until I tapped into my authentic self that things got easy. I love that, Leslie. Thank you so much for sharing.
Leslie, you are absolutely a kick-ass woman.
Yes, absolutely.
Clearly dynamic. I can tell by your photo. Clearly dynamic, and you probably take no prisoners, which is like everything that is all about kick-ass women. That and supporting and helping others rise. That's the most important part of this.
It really is. So you hit imposter syndrome and you deal with it, and you realize that maybe the competition that I view as competition isn't competition at all.
Right.
And then you sort of step into your kick-ass woman role.
Yes. And if you can remind yourself in the moment that competition doesn't exist, that we're all here and there are plenty of others, and you can breathe. Like I have found, every coach who comes into Kick-Ass Women, every health and wellness expert has told us the importance of breath and what it does to open your brain, to get you past the amygdala, which is that fight or flight little part of our brain.
I live in that part.
You have to get out of that part.
I know. Sometimes I realize I'm not breathing at all.
I know. And then go deep, go like take it. The best breath is when you expand, you inhale and you expand.
Can we do it right now? And everybody watching can do it too? Okay.
Yes. So put your hands on your belly.
Okay.
And breathe in and allow your belly to expand. And now exhale. And did you feel your belly coming back as you exhaled? Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's the best kind of breath, because what you're doing is in Tai Chi, they would tell you that you're tapping into your chi. My chiropractor would say you're expanding your diaphragm, which is like the spot in between your boobs. Unless you're old like me and it's a little lower.
Wait, the diaphragm or your boobs?
My boobs. Yeah, thanks.
Just kidding, but laughter.
Exactly. That does a lot too. That definitely can turn your mind completely around in the moment. So my imposter syndrome came from, it's still there. I don't think it ever goes away.
It kind of lives in the back.
Yes. Yes. Eric Tivers runs ADHD Rewired. Sorry, I'm sharing a little too much. He
No,
says
it's okay. Please.
it's the itty bitty shitty committee. I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly it. That's what I have. It's not just one little imposter person. It's a whole group who kind of feed back all of the negative shit that's happened and question whether I'm good enough. Like, how do you think you're good enough? And I always am like, I have to remind myself, it's not, I am good enough, right? And I am successful and I bring value, which is, that's part of one of my core values.
Yeah. Value as a core value. I love that.
Yeah.
It can be really hard to remind yourself that you're good when you get negative feedback.
Oh my God, yes. Yes.
Because,
oh my God, Melanie.
Yes.
I was just gaslighted over the weekend.
Okay, can we talk about it?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about it.
So I have this woman in my world, and it wasn't until recently that somebody used gaslighting in a conversation. I said, explain to me what that is. And they're like, you know what it is? I've been gaslighted my entire life. Like, I feel like I was born in the gas. So this weekend, this woman, what did I forget? Oh, I know. We bought out the guy who lives downstairs. We live in a multifamily just outside of Boston, Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. And she told him that I had posted a few things on social media that called him lazy, that he never put money into the place, and like a few other things. And I scrolled through my social account, and I'm like, he told my husband this, and my husband was pissed. So he comes up, he's like, what did you do? So I looked through my social media, and I had said, wow, we just bought our buddy out, and I think it's hysterical because now we have a squatter. And it was totally in jest.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I know, right? And she totally took it out, completely out, and rewrote, the script of what I was doing, just to basically like get me. I don't know what her goal or intention is, but it's apparently to gaslight me, to make me look like the bad person, which has happened so many times.
So, when that kind of thing happens, when you get negative attention, when you get negative feedback, so often we turn that on ourselves.
Absolutely.
Because, you can get like amazing testimonials, and then one client says, I'm not 100% happy. And you're like, oh my God, I'm the worst person in the world. And
exactly.
I go hide under a blanket.
Yes. Yes. And for you to say that when you're doing nothing but empowering others and helping these experts get their voice and their message out, that's hard, right?
Yeah, it is. It is hard.
It
and
sucks.
then you have to go back. So then you have to go back to the drawing board. And this is truly what I tell my clients too. What's your mission? And your mission is, of course, you want to make money. Of course, you want to help people. I always talk about this. Like, it's okay to say, I want to make money. Like, please say that. Yes. It's okay. Please. Yes. I want you to make money because that's why we're here.
And make more money than the rest of us.
Yes.
Exactly. And keep demanding more. That's the most important part. When I see people who are speakers and they tell me like, oh, I don't want to charge that much. I'm like, no, charge more, because you're setting the stage for us. You're setting the stage for the next woman who's going to be standing up there. Like, this is your moment to work for the rest of us. Because that's what we're good at. Mm-hmm. We're not good at competition. We are awesome at nurturing.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And so not only are you setting the stage for other women, but also think about what your real mission is. For me, my mission is I want to help people who are making this world a better place.
Yes, I love that. I love that. My mission is empowering women, especially, although Renaissance men is soon to come, Melanie. I've got to tell you that. There are far too many men who are like, I need to be a kick-ass woman.
That's fantastic.
I know. So I forgot to say, so Kick-Ass Women is mainly, and I use mainly very loosely, mid to late career women seeking greater fulfillment in work. And the people who identify with kick-ass women are those who have been there, done that, are sick of the shit, and really want to be doing something greater. They want to make a bigger impact on their world. They want more satisfaction and joy out of working, and they don't want to be inside the box anymore.
So tell me
That's
how
what
it goes in line with your mission.
help. I want to help people do business and business better. I don't want the crap that I endured to be what my daughter has to endure or your kids have to endure. I want all of our efforts to be focused on treating each other kindly, respectfully, and appreciating the value that people bring. There are so many people who don't know their own value. It shocks me.
Like when you're talking to somebody and they say, "Oh, well, I only charge $500 for my program." And you're like, "Really? You could charge like $5,000 for your program."
Yes.
Well, I want everybody to be in it. No, you don't. Because
Right?
I mean, that's the thing. Like, and kick-ass women know this. Mid to late career women know this. Women who have been around the block, it's not their first rodeo, et cetera, et cetera. They know this, that if you undervalue yourself, you're going to get tire kickers. You're not
Yes.
going to get people who are serious.
Or you're going to get the people who just want to be around others to tap into their resources and tools, but not give back.
Oh, man.
So
Giving back. Let's talk about giving back. Because how how often do you get on a phone? Okay, so guys, I have to tell you how Erin and I met. We were on a group email. I don't even remember what the email was about. I think there was an event, and
could have been.
And Erin replied all.
Not knowing a single person but the sender.
Not knowing a single person but the sender. And she said, if you know this sender, then you're in the right place, and something about joining that event. And I looked at this email and I went, oh my God, I have to know her. So I replied to her email and I said, I need to know you, or something along those lines. and we have become fast friends because, well, her mission is infectious in a good way. And unlike pandemic infectious, which
right, yeah,
is part of our vernacular now. But
used to be herpes, now it's COVID.
Right. Too bad COVID didn't eradicate herpes, right? It's just
right?
Like see what I mean, guys? She's infectious. So we do a lot of
world.
Come into her world, yeah. So I know I totally had a point, but now I've forgotten.
Oh, you had to know me giving back.
Yes, thank you. See, that's another reason I love her. She can steer me back on track, and it's about giving back. So Erin is one of those people who you'll get on a call with her, and she'll say, "How can I help you?"
Yes.
And how can I support you? And that is such a great way to be, because when you're supporting others, it all comes back to you too.
It does. Oh my gosh. It's not the selfish way of thinking about that. It's not going out and working for a nonprofit because you want to get ahead in anything, right? Or going to volunteer because it'll look good on your resume. It's literally like, if I can help anybody get a few steps ahead, then that gives me great joy. And that person makes a bigger impact in their world, which is ultimately what all of us want. So what I love to do is open up my internal Rolodex whenever I'm talking to somebody. And every person, I swear, it's like the name game that I played in college. Each person talked about themselves, and then you take their first letter of their first name and you make like a rhyme, like or a saying. Melanie makes massive
Marketing.
yes.
Oh, I like that even better. Yes.
Melanie makes massive marketing. Then I'm going to remember who you are. I'm going to remember your name. So when I talk to people, I'm basically doing that without knowing it, like building the keywords that trigger, that are the triggers that I use when talking to others to be like, oh, you, for instance, Tony Martinetti yesterday is amazing. He's an author. I have like 15 people I want to connect him to because he's just amazing. He's a chief inspiration officer. I'm like, funny enough, I already know another one who I'll introduce you to. So when you do that and you share your people with others, it opens amazing doors, not only for them, but for you as well. That's networking 101.
Absolutely. And, there's no work in networking. It should be.
Yes.
It should
be simple. It should be enjoyable. You should find, and I do want to go back a second. It's hard for it to be enjoyable if you're not surrounding yourself with the right people.
Ooh, good point.
Yes. So you want to make sure that when networking and when connecting with others, that you're looking to find the common mission that each of you has, and then build off of that in order to build the relationship. So funny, Jane Matson and I just had this this YouTube video about networking 101, networking for success, and that's her big thing is you, me. I want to talk about you. What can I do for you? I want to talk about you. Oh, and now I'll tell you what I do.
Right. Absolutely. I love that. You, me. And is it basically the 80-20 rule, right? No.
Yes.
Almost.
Yeah, well,
80-20. Almost.
No, it totally is.
Yeah.
No, well, yeah.
You. No way.
If you do my math, it is the 80-20 rule.
Okay. Give me a calculator. Okay. So tell me how people can reach you and find out more about your incredibleness and kick-ass.
Yes. So you can find all of us at kickasswomen.com. That's KCKSSwomen.com. You'll notice that kick-ass has an exclamation point and an asterisk instead of vowels. That's intentional. I felt that kick-ass women was too out there and in your face.
Yeah.
What it does, though, is it stops people who live inside the box from ever coming close. So it's a really good thing. You can also find us on Facebook. My Facebook page is the same address, KCKSS Women, LinkedIn, and Twitter.
So you're covering all the bases.
Yeah. I don't play a lot on Twitter. I need to change that.
You don't necessarily. I'm a big proponent of you don't have to be everywhere, just where your people are.
Yes. Well, I was told yesterday by a gentleman who's awesome, not Tony, Abraham, that I should be on Twitter searching for women empowerment because that's where my people are.
All right. Cool.
How smart.
Yay. All right. Well, Erin, thank you so much. This has been such a fun half hour. And
thank you.
I adore you. And I am going to, if you guys have any questions, you can post them in the comments and we will be sure to answer them for you.
Yes.
And you can go ahead and check out Kick-Ass Women, but it's women.com, women.com. And it's Friday. All right.
Have a great weekend. Thank you so much, Melanie.
Thank you. Thanks everybody for watching and have a wonderful weekend. Okay, bye-bye.